Nashville, Tennessee. Today is May 17th. It's a Thursday. It's 9:05 a.m. Central Standard Time. And this is the Crushing Iron Triathlon Podcast, brought to you by Mike Turali, age group extraordinaire, sexiest triathlon bachelor this side of the Mississippi.
Oh,
And,
oh man.
And your coach.
And Coach Robbie Bruce.
Yeah, best coach this side of the Cumberland.
The Cumberland. The mighty Cumberland.
That's it.
And yeah, you are the winner of that, I think, for sure.
Yeah, this side of the Cumberland.
This side of the Cumberland. If you're on this side of the Cumberland, let's get it going over here.
Yeah, I think I'm about 10 minutes away from the Cumberland, so I've got it on lock. I've got a monopoly on this 5 mile square radius.
Yeah.
But hey, you gotta leave some for the little people. You know, you can't just have everything.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people that in this area, the Cumberland Valley. Is it Cumberland River Valley?
Yeah, I think it is the Cumberland River Valley.
Where we live.
Cumberland River Valley Plateau area.
The topography knowledge that you have comes in very handy for these local athletes that need supreme coaching.
That's true, man. That's true.
And you are coaching.
Yeah, I do, actually. And speaking of, this weekend, it's going to be jam-packed. I think we alone have 27. We'll have 27 athletes on course at Chattanooga. Wow. Yeah, and then we've got other ones. I've got other athletes racing, obviously, all over across the U.S. And then big shout out to one of my favorite, if not my favorite, person in the UK, Stephen King. He is taking on a 70.3, and he's going to dominate. So if you're over in the UK, you better load up on your tea and crumpets because you're about to get handed to you by old Steve King.
He's an animal.
Yeah, he is.
I feel like he's racing every other week.
He is, man. He's been doing awesome, man. He's in the zone. So, but yeah, it's we'll have a lot of athletes there. So again, if you are going to be there, hey, this message is for Elise, who just texted me. Driving to chat now. Can y'all please release the podcast? I'm so bored over here. LOL. Either that, or go over with me your game plan. Besides, no power, which is so lame. Yes, I've been losing sleep over that. So at least when we do record this, you're probably still going to be on your way to chat. No texting and driving, but when you get this, you're welcome.
At least I'm using your blender right now to fire up some butter coffee.
Yeah, you better not be.
No, coconut oil.
I wish I still had. Elise is a long time friend of the cast. Winner of Ironman Florida this last year. She'll be at Chattanooga. And last year when she came to our camp, she got Mike a gift, and then I wish I could say I still had some of those like nut butter filled Cliff bars, but I do demolish those in like 3 days.
So if you can bring some of those up, that'd be great.
Yeah. So since you're exactly, Amazon Prime that. Mike and I are both staying at the Holiday Inn and Suites on Chestnut. Just sit at the front desk and RE Crushing Iron.
Yes.
For all gifts. We'll have a little spot set up for kind of like at a wedding. You know, put your gifts over here. So if you're there and you don't feel like donating to the podcast or doing anything else, but you would like to kind of give us a gift, we welcome it.
Yeah.
It can be chamois cream, it can be Cliff Bars, it can be Benjamin's, whatever it is you feel comfortable with.
I was going to say
We'll have a little area, sidebar, crushing, just RE Crushing Iron, and they'll know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
After we tell them.
Oh, for sure. I'll be there. We'll be there a little early. Okay, so quickly, we did just have a big gear order, and if you're coming to Chattanooga to pick up your stuff, which there's a lot of you, we're gonna be in the lobby from 3 to 4:30 on Friday, which is tomorrow, and Saturday from 1 to 2, I think we decided.
Yeah, I think you decided that.
Yeah, so that's when you can pick up your gear that you ordered and either pay for it then or pay for it now through PayPal. And that's it. And that should work out great. And that's where you drop off gifts as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
big gifts. Make sure we're
exactly, the big ones. Yeah, we'll have our own cart and our own bellhop, Corey Coggins. So if you see a crotchety old bellhop with a name tag that says CC, you'll know it's Corey. But anyway,
he's already been demanding on me this morning with text.
Dude, are y'all riding together?
No, we're not riding together. But
there's
rooming together now.
First win right there is that you can just leave whenever you want to, because he and I are pretty anal about leaving and doing things on time, but
doing things like everything.
Like everything. But he takes it to a little bit of a different level. I've eased up a bit since we had a toddler. I was even running a little bit late when we made the road trip to Texas. Which is definitely unlike me. But hey, you got to do what you can. But yeah, we'll be there. We're pumped. It's going to be a hot weekend. And it's gonna be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. And now I want to make it clear, because we're gonna be there. We're gonna be around a lot. We're gonna be in the lobby. We're gonna be all over the grounds before the race. And I want to make it clear that if you've been thinking about coaching, check us out, man. Come on up and meet us and get to know us and ask some questions, because we're not only are we open for coaching again, I am getting into the coaching fold after this race, and we're going to have kind of a different thing for me. I'm an older guy. I'm sort of a newer, not real new, but I got into this late in life, so I remember that transition very well. So,
that's
you've been
true.
contemplating moving up to something, maybe your first sprint, or maybe going a little bit higher into the thing. I might, be a perfect match, because I do remember what that felt like. And I did start running when I was 48 years old, so and I've done a bunch of stuff since then.
I've done whatever. You're quite accomplished.
I'm
4 or 5 Ironman.
Five now.
Oh, excuse me. I overshoot it.
And and maybe you can convince me to do 6. Not you, but maybe someone in Chattanooga that I meet.
Yeah, it's not going to be me. I'm not gonna be that guy.
All right. Yeah. Somebody's got to convince me to do this one.
I think we're still working on that.
The way the heat's going these days. Although,
man,
I think it's getting cooler the next couple of days.
Let's just freak people out. You're all going to die.
You're all going to die. It's going to be...
Basically. Nobody's going to finish. It's going to be impossible. They've added 6 extra hills.
Wow.
And because of the heat, part of the other side of the river has been closed. So now the swim has been reversed.
It's all upstream.
So it's all upstream. Then you cut across, and you actually get in the bus, and then they take you. Then they bus you to T1, and so you get a little bit longer to do the wetsuit strip in the bus. It'll kind of be like a triathlon party bus of people stripping, all wet, looking nasty, and they'll bus you back to T1. Well, you'll get on your bike, and then you'll do the Ironman 70.3 World Championship bike course, which is a lot more difficult. And then as you finish the bike in T2, they will actually hold you there until 1 p.m. until the hottest part of the day, and then they will release us in a mass start half marathon run.
That's great.
So I'm not sure if you guys have seen it on Facebook, but as you know, everything on Facebook is real. So if you didn't know that, you heard it here first. Race format has changed. I would just make sure that please cover that and ask questions at the first athlete meeting. And you heard it. I heard it from Elise. So
thanks.
So if you ask, say, hey, Elise told me that this was the new. Can you please confirm or deny? So.
But I did hear if it storms, there's supposed to be a torrential storm too, and if it does, they might stick with the original course.
A what?
Torrential downpour.
Yeah, I did hear that as well. Who knows?
Or it's going to be just a piece of cake.
Exactly. Yeah. And it could be your
depending on your attitude.
Exactly. The attitude of gratitude, which we always say. But no, it's I was texting this yesterday, and on the last podcast I got a little bit of flack from a couple people saying you're going to ride with no power and take some risks. I have recently reevaluated that strategy.
People change their minds.
People do change their minds, and I think
it was like 2 days ago. But,
I think it's but hey, it's and I might go back again. I might change it again. But listen, man, if it's going to be close to 90 with the humidity and a real feel of plus 90, part of what we talked about within that podcast was the when and the why of taking risks. Mm-hmm. And there are specific days and times where you want to take risks. If it's going to be truly is going to be that hot and humid, I will not be taking those kind of risks. You brought up a great point and a really good quote a couple podcasts ago about, don't race trying to be somebody you're not. Mm-hmm. And this hasn't always been the case for me, but the past few years, for sure, is I usually tend to race very, very smart and calculated and even to set myself up for success. And so, that's really who I am. I'm not at the level yet to where I can just out fitness and out race and be a better athlete than everybody on the face of the earth. I have to, I have to really approach it like I did when you and I did the Louisville, 3-4 years ago when it was super hot. I had just gotten, I think, sober in February, and I'd only been really training at all for 3 months. And I was able to do really, really well, not for the fact that I was just in such incredible shape, but I just knew I tried to be as smart as I possibly could. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to be really successful, or not. And listen, in a race like this, if it is and truly, and if for all intents and purposes, we'll just pretend like it's going to be super warm, whatever. Most of the country, even if you've been in the South the last few weeks, has not been accustomed to racing in this type of weather. It's more than likely not going to be. It could be. It still could be a massive PR, but it's about where you place overall against the field. I'm always a huge fan of looking at that because it's a real indicator of where you are. And it's going to be about execution and patience and who plays the day the smartest. And because it's going to be, as every run course can be, a graveyard of broken hopes and dreams, walking slowly, saying woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this right now, even the slowest jog is faster than the fastest walk. So, if you can execute, just be who you are, do your race, execute, do the best you can. That's something I'm honestly still reevaluating is how I want to do it. And do I want to add back in power to make sure? Because listen, I'm all for taking risks, but I'm not all for blowing up and having to walk the last half of the run.
Yeah.
Just to try something out. I'm just not in for that, and I'm after Chattanooga will start to be when I really, really ramp things up. So I don't want to have a bad taste in my mouth. I want to execute. I want to learn something. And, especially if it is going to be that temp, you're not going to find me being that guy that, passes out at mile 8 going for broke. I got to be calculated. And so as it currently sits, I'm definitely reevaluating. There's risk and then there's just being irresponsible.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be doing.
There's a big difference.
Your power, you can still take risk, but you just can look at your power meter and judge it by that, I guess.
Yep, definitely.
And as this definitely, if it's going to be that kind of temperature, which it may or may not be, I don't know, 90 degrees, something, that's definitely not the time to go for your tri-calc PR. It's like,
I would discourage that.
I can assure you that is not the case. It's like most times that's not a good idea. And like you said, the racing against the field is something you can't, put in a calculator ahead of time because you really don't know who's going to be there. But overall, it's a pretty good place to judge how your race went instead of looking at your time. So you got to think about it that way. And, since I feel pretty good right now, even though I was a little bit under the weather over the weekend, and I'm still coming through it, though. I can tell. I went out for a little, my bike got tuned up. I went and rode it yesterday a little bit. I can tell I'm a little weak yet. So I'm just, I slept a tremendous amount last night, and I'm just kind of on that train, and I'm just going to take it day by day. I don't even really have a plan. I'm going to just, at this point, I'm thinking I may just hold it back a little bit more than I thought I would on the bike, even though that's where I'm feeling good. But, I haven't been running a lot either, so, that was part of the crapshoot. I felt like my legs were coming really strong from a lot of cycling and just a little bit of running. And I don't know. My thing is like it all comes down to how my things like my hip flexors and hammies feel. And if I feel good, I'm just going to go for it. But not go, But I'm not going to wear a watch, so I'm going to total feel it, the whole thing. No watch on my wrist even.
Yeah, it's
no record of this race will have.
No records. It will be scratched from the record. Yeah, jury, please disregard the previous race. Yeah, it is. It's one where you got to feel it out and be who you are, and be patient and execute, and things may not be as bad as they seem. It's given all things, and so, but you never know. The weather could change in a jiffy. You could be feeling incredible, and I'm sure there are lots of athletes that are listening to this podcast. They're gonna, most of them are gonna have incredible races. But it's enjoy yourself, take care of yourself, start cooling. If I could give you any advice at all that you would, take it and not forget anything else, is start to cool yourself before you get hot. Don't cool yourself when you're hot, because by then it's just a smidgen too late. So stay ahead of it. Hit that first aid station.
Yeah, dude, I was thinking about that yesterday because I was out riding and, had my kit on. It felt great, our new kits. And, had my I don't have like a I have that sort of aero helmet, but it's not like the pointy one, Mm-hmm. But man, it felt hot. I don't know if that was partially because it was hot or I'm still kind of fighting through a little something. But I was thinking about that the whole time, man. Like how it's almost like as much as you don't want to be cold before that swim, if you can sort of get your body kind of cool and just start there. I mean, you talk about starting ahead of the game, man. I was just thinking about how hot I felt when I got off that bike. And,
yeah.
I wasn't really spraying myself down, but make sure you're spraying your body down throughout that whole bike and just doing whatever you can to, because you're going to be a lot hotter than you think getting off that bike. You always are, but
yeah, I remember like the first 500 meters of the run, you're like wait a minute, I didn't know I was even supposed to sweat right now, because the wind is from the bike, either the wind has been cooling you off, or at least not so much cooling you off as much as keeping you dry. It's when you go hiking up in high elevation like Colorado, you're sweating, you just don't know it. So it's you're gonna start pouring, and you're coming out of transition, and you're going right up this hill, and people are gonna want to just crush it. Mm-hmm. So take your time, be patient, no matter what race you're doing. I know obviously these last few casts have been focused on Chattanooga, which is obviously central to what you and I are doing, and a lot of listeners. But no matter what you're doing, always find your legs. Sometimes you're not going to find them until miles 4 or 5. And don't make a decision on your whole race based on the way you feel exactly at that moment. I know you say that a lot too, and that's something that I learned in Texas. While my legs felt okay on the first loop, they felt the best on the second loop.
That's amazing to me.
And then it really started to feel good, and then I don't know. It's a So it's not really a mystery for me. I'm still trying to figure out, because cardiovascular wise, I felt great. Like I could have ran harder. I just didn't have the legs, and I knew my cycling, I didn't push it. So I'm going to try a little bit more nutrition in a different way this time, and maybe that was it. Because looking back on it, when I finally crunched the numbers, I don't think I nailed it as much as I could. And obviously, hydration is going to be a big deal on this race. And just staying cool and staying prepared and getting ahead of the game. So, but yeah, don't ever make it. Don't ever decide your race before the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Or even the last mile, you can probably let it rip and let it hang, and you'll know what's going to be is going to be. But before that, everything changes. And it's all about moving forward and making the best decision that you can and keeping your spirits high and making sure you've got calories. Because honestly, and I think a lot of people know this, but it may not be just kind of as well known as possible. Usually, like negative thoughts or emotions or self-doubt in a race, most of the time that actually comes from just being glycogen depleted. You're not getting enough calories, or you need a little bit of caffeine. A lot of caffeine especially is a mood elevator. And if you have negative thoughts, where I can't do this, it's usually your mind's way of saying, at this current state, it's not going to be fun, so I need some more. And it's your mind's way of interpreting things and telling you, hey, I need more, hit me up. So don't make a decision based on the moment.
Well, again, you said it though. It's like when your mind's starting to say that, I don't want to say it's too late, but it probably should have happened a little earlier. So stay on top of it. So you got one of the best analogies I heard about getting off the bike is it's like your car when you go, you're driving down the highway or you're driving for like several hours or whatever, and you stop, and then you feel the engine or the hood. Like how your engine actually gets hotter after you stop because you don't have that wind going in through this. So that's exactly kind of the thing that happens to your body, is that when you get off the bike, you're not moving through that wind anymore. You're not getting that breeze or whatever, and then your body starts heating up even a little bit more. So you might be like, oh, well, I'm in the breeze now or whatever. But so that's the thing about getting ahead of it on the bike, and that's bitten me before, definitely, where I've been like, well, I feel pretty good out here on the bike, but just kind of keep in mind, I think, that I don't want to say force feed or force, you know what I mean, but like err on that side a little bit maybe as far as fluid and nutrition on the bike.
Yep.
So because you want to hopefully get off with that coolant, that fresh coolant intact through the veins.
In the veins.
Come on, man.
I like it.
Yeah, that's where it starts, man.
It is, man. It's
if you don't have the right mix going through that bloodstream.
I get it, man. I get it. And again, like don't be the guy or the gal, trying to heat acclimate in your long sleeve shirt for the next, 3 days. Like, let me just be the one to tell you, you're either already heat acclimated or you're not.
Yeah, it's probably a little late.
It's not even. It's like it's done. So don't be.
Well, you just wear yourself down right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like right now is the time to rejuvenate and re-energize, not test. Listen, you just at this point, there. If you're racing on a Sunday, no matter where you are or what you're doing or how it's going, guess what? You are who you are already. Now it's just time to relax, enjoy, kick your feet up, watch a little Netflix. Or Amazon Prime Video, whatever it is, relax, do the best you can. Right now, the most important thing is sleep and keep stress to a minimum. Mm-hmm. Those are and I tell my athletes, like, when they're worried about missing a workout or cutting something short, like your number one priority right now, or number one and two, is sleep and stress and limit stress. Everything else takes a very, very, very distant third, fourth, and fifth. Mm-hmm. If you can sleep as much as you can, limit the stress, because that alone is going to allow your body to recover and recuperate, and get exactly to where it needs to be. So, yeah, take care of yourself. And listen, the hay's in the barn. You are who you are. Now it's just it's time to show up, enjoy it, see where you're at, have fun, challenge yourself, be smart, and then, make adjustments and go henceforth into the rest of the season.
Henceforth.
Yeah.
I would I would also add, just because I think about this kind of stuff a lot, I want to get my mind right. I want to get my mind positive as much as I can right now too. Like, because it's so easy to be like, during the week of your taper, to kind of convince yourself that like you're weak or this race is going to be tough, because it's when you sign up and you start doing the tri-calc stuff, and you like you always talk about how you're in a great state of mind and you're confident and positive and everything like that, and you start thinking you can do these sorts of things, and now just because it's taper week and you might be feeling some aches and pains or some like lethargy or these sort of things, but don't let that overrun your brain either, because I think you want to go into this as positive as possible, and
oh yeah,
you want to like you said, rest and limit the stress, but also I guess maybe that just becomes part of it. Is the stress part becomes thinking that this race is going to eat you alive, but don't focus on that kind of stuff. And I think it's a good idea to be confident, not cocky, going into the thing, because you have done the work. You've done a lot of work. You don't know what's going to happen. None of us really do.
No.
But it's best to kind of believe in yourself right now. And it's kind of, woo-woo stuff on some level, but...
woo-woo stuff. No, like, the most confident thing you need to be in right now is your plan.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, there is taper week and race week is where you go back and forth between I'm going to kill it, I'm going to PR, I should probably just not even do this, I'll do the kids run the first day and then I'll just cheer the second day. I wonder if I can transfer to the aqua bike. I wonder if they'll start taking deferrals. Oh my God, I feel incredible. This race is going to be great. I cannot wait to dominate. You know what? I think I'm going to sell my bike. Like it's like everybody goes through like all of those on some level during race week. It's like the average triathlete changes their mind about how they feel about as many times as the average triathlete adjusts their swim goggles standing in line. Like a million. Like, I know for me, by the time I get in the swim start, I think I touch and adjust and reseal and take off and put back on like 48 different times. It's just, you are who you are, and so just be it. And the best thing you can do right now is just get off the grid as much as you can. Limit the noise, limit the interference. All these people say all these hills are crazier than the hills in Louisville. They're crazier than this. There's so much. I'm like, just like, first of all, when do we start believing everything everybody posts on Facebook? Because we should. And then, like, it's time to go. It's time to let go. It's time to become a hermit and focus on you and your plan and how you're going to execute, because nothing anybody else says is going to make any damn difference on how you perform. It's just going to waste unneeded energy and stress, because it's there. You're going to get in, you're going to swim, you're going to bike, you're going to run, you're going to be done, and then you're going to see what happened.
Yeah.
So now it's time to, like I said, detach, log off. Tell your friends to leave you the hell alone, and kick your feet up. Tell your
friends to leave you alone.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, unless they're not talking about the race.
Yeah, that's true. Unless they're going to distract you.
I would say, yeah. It's like nail in your plan, buy in, make it, honest. Your honest plan, and then just kind of forget about it the next couple days.
Yeah.
Don't over obsess about a few numbers here and there, a few little decisions you might want to make ahead of time. Just be in a good state of mind, go meet some people, relax, let it go, and that kind of thing will actually take away some nerves as you're going. So just, kind of come back to being a human for a minute, and then
exactly.
You can be triathlon person on Sunday.
Yep, Sunday.
All in.
Oh yeah, you better be all in.
Better be all in. Yeah, man, I'm gonna go. I've been trying to take stress off myself by going with a conservative plan.
Yeah, well, I think there's I guess conservative and smarter are one and the same.
I think so. That's sort of how I'm playing it, but yeah, I just. For me, in my state of mind right now, to be thinking about these lofty expectations for myself is just, I know what it does to my brain.
Yeah.
There is one thing, that one little decision that I'm going to make, and it's going to be on the bike. And we've talked about it many times, but how there's a fine line between having flat legs and waking up your legs.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's something about me on a bike that... if I'm holding back, it feels harder to me. I don't know what it feels like my body wants to go faster, and so there will be a point when I'll be like, all right, this doesn't feel great going at the speed, and maybe if I open up the governor a little bit, is that what you call it?
The governor on your bike.
Yeah. Just kind of open the legs up a little bit and see if maybe they feel better with a little more intensity.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of decision I'm going to make. I don't think I'm going to make that decision on the run until very late if I have that option.
And and that's the thing. You may not even have the option. But it's better to, from an energy expenditure, from an effort standpoint, to like. Really, really wanting to dig deep. Like, you don't want to be digging deep at mile 30 on the bike.
No.
It's like, you just don't want to do that. And so, it's going to be, it might be one of those days for not everybody, but some people, it might be one of those days where it's just hurry up and wait. In that time to flip the switch might come at mile 4 on the run, mile 8, mile 9. It might not. It might just become that, you have it or you don't have it, but you'll know before then. But I can tell you that if you, more than likely, for most athletes, not all, but most athletes, if you try it at like mile 20, you may be regretting it. I'd rather start pushing it at mile 5 or 6 on the run, like that second loop. Because listen, everything that you do from the time you hop in the water, at any race, not just the one we're talking about on Sunday, is, and just for the context, I guess, of people racing Chattanooga this weekend, like we are, how is this going to affect my ability to run the second loop of the run course? Is this going to help me run it, or is this going to force me to walk it? And in those, so if you have a thought, have that thought, but then ask yourself that question and be confident that you'll still be able to run that second loop, because walking, even 1 mile of that half marathon is going to be about could be anything from a 5 to 8 minute difference on your run split. And the amount of effort it takes to improve your bike leg by 8 minutes is a lot. And so, you just got to think about those things. And, and to be frank, like, you've put in a lot of work. And this can go, if you can put this on a repeat or for pretty much any race, but this time of year, especially, we're in May, you put in a lot of work this off season. You've worked your butt off. Let's at least see what you have. So don't be irresponsible with your fitness. Don't be erratic. Don't be irrational. And I'll tell you right now, there'll be a lot of athletes who do, and we've covered this before, who do the self-sabotage route.
Oh boy.
Who are gonna, it's true.
I know.
They're gonna go on the bike and they're going to blow up because they either already assume they're gonna bonk on the run, or they're already planning on using the heat as an excuse. You better get that shit out of your mind right now, and you better get it out quick because it's Thursday. And that's something that some people are going to do. They're already preparing and formulating a game plan that will be conducive to blaming it on the conditions. We're all there. It's all going to be difficult. It's all going to be hot more than likely, so we're all going to go through it. Set yourself up for success to see what you really got, and then do your best. So if you can execute your plan and feel like listen, regardless of the time, we say this all the time, regardless of your time, if you can just get done and say, you know what, I played that day as pretty close to perfect as I possibly could have, then that's going to be a win. That's how I felt after Louisville that year in 2014 or 15, whatever year it was. It wasn't my best time ever, no, but it was actually, I think, the best I had ever done overall in a race. I think I was like top 150. And it had nothing to do with the fact that I was so much more in shape than everybody else. It was the fact that I just played it really, really, really smart. And that's something that I could control. I couldn't control the heat. I couldn't control the fact that I knew I was going to have to walk some on the run. It was just limiting it in that full. And I got done thinking, you know what? I honestly don't think, could my time have been better? Sure. Well, yeah, it would have only been better if it was 20 degrees cooler and I had trained for 3 more months.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. And
you got to know where you're at.
Yeah, you got to know where you're at and then where you want to go. And sometimes you just got to talk it out loud. I did that kind of yesterday through text messages with another athlete and, trying to figure out, they're like, oh, so how are you? And I'm like, I don't know yet. I don't know because I had yet to kind of make a decision until I'm not really confident and zoned in until I'm 100% confident about what my game plan is. I'm more confident today than I was then, so I feel good. But that's it. That's the only thing you can control. Everything else is going to be what it'll be. And so stick to your game plan, be confident in it. And I promise you, if you can finish saying, today I made more right decisions than bad decisions, then you're more than likely going to be in good shape.
Yeah.
In my opinion, unless you make, all good decisions and one just totally horrific decision, most times you're going to end up doing well if you can outnumber the bad.
Yeah, I'm hoping, I feel like my swim is going to be okay, and I feel like my bike. I put my bike or eggs in the bike basket. I've said that several times, and I'm almost at the point now where like I said, I haven't been running a lot. I don't know exactly why. It's partially by choice, but partially because I just haven't felt like it. But I'm kind of starting to get that itch to run a little bit again. So I'm hoping. I mean, as far as my plan, it's so weird because I'm just hoping I can bike strong, get off, and then feel like running, and just for one day. Again, here we go back to the one day. I've been running. Some. I've run some pretty good long runs, and this is not so much recently, but I'm just hoping, some days you feel like you can run, and maybe that'll be that day for me. But so that's sort of my game plan, is just to, be real strong and smart through the bike, and then just, hope and see what happens on the run. But I'm not going to try and PR my run, but I'm going to start through that first loop, probably just go, be happy that I'm out there, and then just see what can happen in a 6 miles or whatever. Yep. So
yeah, the only thing I do know for sure already is I'm going to wear my watch for the swim. I would like to know my swim time. My last race, I had this guy there that told me I was like 5 minutes faster. It really fucked up my day.
It was 3.
Just kidding.
Okay, yeah, that is a weird thing, though, man. As you're a spectator, and Ironman, just be aware that I think this happens a lot, actually.
I'm sure it does.
In Ironman, the split time in the swim is adjusted. So as he got out of the water, your swim time, I think I said 24 minutes, right?
Yeah, 24. Yeah, it was like barely even 3 minutes off. But yeah,
Yeah, I know, but still. And then when it kind of corrected itself and said 27, I'm like, shit, he's out on the bike and he thinks he did 24-minute swim. And he's like, all right, he's reevaluating in his plan. He's like, well, if I can just up this and this. And I'm thinking, oh, no, he's going to come in and he's going to bait. But I should have known you'd be smarter than that. But you actually kind of didn't think I was even right, did you?
No, I didn't think it was that fast. I was like, really? Like, I was like, okay. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, it must have been short, but I knew I wasn't 24. 24 is up there with like the lead level pros at that race. At least it was, I think. So, but no, I do. I want to know what it is, just to know it and kind of get a raw view of, honestly, just for the main of. I'm not going to go after it by any means in the swim, but I probably am going to go a little more steady than I did at Texas. Texas, I think I was a little too easy.
A little backstroking?
No, I wouldn't backstroke. Actually, to be honest with you, my backstroke is probably still faster than my freestyle, sadly. But I was
gotta pull that off a little bit.
I know I was backstroke was my thing, and growing up so many year round, it was regionals, nationals. I was always in the 100, 200 back, so I can still definitely, I think, do better in backstroke. But
you got the bridge to warn you.
I know. So it's the other buoys and stuff I don't really have nailed down, but I didn't. I want to feel like I'm in a race, and while I'm not going to be like 95, 100%, I do want to get out, because I think the biggest thing for me sometimes too is, and I think this is probably the case with a lot of athletes, is that I know what my effort feels like on the swim, and so usually when is it only confined to the swim because of conditions and wetsuit or non-wetsuit and yada yada yada? Yes. But for me, I generally know kind of where I'm going to be and how some times are probably going to go. So I'd like to get a gauge of what effort feels like what today. And so if I go out and swim and I'm pushing steady and I come out with a number, I'm like, man, like that's around what I thought, or it's faster. Then I'm like, okay, well, I'll take that kind of feel of effort into the bike and saying I have a pretty good gauge on effort today. But if I go in and I go swim and I go and I'm putting an effort level into, and I come out and I'm like, oh dude, that was like 3 minutes slower than what I thought. Yes, could it be the current? Yada yada, sure. But I think if you've been doing it long enough, you kind of know already. And that would also give me kind of like a not like a warning sign, but I think like we all kind of generally race with like this little strip of lights where it's like, you'll get a red light that's like slow down or chill, or a yellow light that's like maybe go slow for a little bit, and then you got green lights, and you just all day long they're kind of changing and blinking. You just never want like 4 red lights in a row. But if I got out of the swim and I'm like, God, that's probably 4 minutes slower than I thought, then I'll probably go into the bike playing it a little more conservative. Now, whether you think that's right or wrong, just from an effort standpoint, for me, it's like maybe I just need to feel my way into where I'm really at and let my body, do a little more of the lead, and make decisions that way, instead of, and contrary to the direction a lot of athletes probably find themselves, and that's, oh, well, I just lost 4 minutes. I better try to make it up right now. I got to get back on my goal pace the first 10 miles of the bike.
Yeah.
Like let's not do that. Let's not keep digging a hole. Let's try to do our best to fill it. And so for me, I mean, and this is just me. I'm not trying to speak for anybody else here, obviously, but for me, that's why I made the decision. And I made this almost immediately after Texas, was, to push the swim a little bit more, to make myself feel a little more alive. And then, and also just kind of give myself on where I stand that day, from an effort standpoint. And so for me, I'm going to do that.
You're so, familiar with, well, you're very comfortable in the water.
Yes.
That's probably your strongest. I mean, you'd feel most comfortable in the water out of everything, right?
Oh God, I don't even know.
So, but
the last time if ever I've felt uncomfortable in the water.
Right. So there's not a. I mean, I would say that's not the majority of people. So what I'm getting at is that you're so familiar with that, and you can really be consistent there, and you can gauge stuff based on your swim. I don't think most people have that ability. I mean, like you know what I'm saying, to fine tune in the middle of it. And
yeah, you're exactly right. It's a great point. Just because because of the nature of a course like this as well. Let's say the current is crazy, and they're out 5 minutes faster, than they thought.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you're destined, and I'm not trying to be like Debbie Downer here, but that doesn't mean you're destined for a great day. Like it's the same thing could be said for negative thoughts as, oh, dude, I'm going to crush this whole day. Because, if you start thinking, because a lot of people make these decisions. Oh my God. Like they start doing, like we kind of joked about, you give me the wrong swim split at Texas, but it's like, oh man, I was like 5 minutes faster than the swim. Yeah. So I'm already 5 minutes under my goal time. So now I can take it a little bit easier on the bike. Mm-hmm. Or
yeah, that's where I go.
Exactly. Or
then you get into tri-calcing, man.
Exactly. Then I'm like, or I could crush the bike and then give myself like a 10-minute lead on the run, because I'm probably going to walk anyway because it's going to be so hot.
Mm-hmm. And
it's like you make the good and the bad can all lead to these different decisions. But yeah, I mean and the thing is like the day before the race, you can't get in the water right there at the race start. You have no idea what the current's really going to be. You'll probably get a decent idea of how you see the pros start hit to the first buoy, but then again, we're not pros, and so everything looks and it feels different. But it's it's, I always tell athletes, just the swim needs to be uneventful, and then get out and you're either going to have minutes or not have minutes, but the swim is going to be what it is for most people, unless you're really comfortable regardless of what you think or may not think of the swim. You'll probably know if it's a strong current or not on the way down, just by how quickly you hit the bridge or a turn. But yeah, it's for me, it's an effort thing. So I don't obviously think anybody has to do it, but
well, I got a kind of a story that relates to that. My first Ironman at Wisconsin, you were there.
Mm-hmm.
I had this sort of quietly outlandish goal set in my head and whatever, and so I wanted to do the swim, I think, in 1:10. That was sort of like my like, okay, if I can get 1:10 and then get out, I think I got a shot at maybe like sub 11:30 or something crazy. And so anyway, but everything would have had to have fallen right into place. And I got out of the water at 1:20, which was 10 minutes slower than I thought I was going to do. And it was a battlefield, and I was a little bit scarred coming out of there. But what happened is the minute I saw that, I just threw that 11:30 out the window. So it was kind of the opposite thing. And that day I was having trouble with my big ring, so I spent a lot of time in my small ring. This is my first Ironman. And if you're going to have a day to spend mostly in your small ring, probably Wisconsin's a good course for that, because I was doing a lot of climbing, and I just sort of like recovered on the downhills. And I had a solid bike under 6 hours. And but my point is that I think by not having that top end goal as I got out of the water, it probably saved my race, because I did not go out on the bike and try to go 5:45 or something like that I might have been thinking about beforehand. So I kept it within run, and then I actually wound up running the whole marathon that day, and I still came under 12, and I was like ecstatic about that. That was like a big deal. So it kind of mentally adjusted me in the back way. But when you talk about swimming, I just don't think I certainly don't. For me, a solid swim is like if I don't stop and I feel like I'm not recorrecting my line the whole time.
Yeah.
And and if I can get out of there without my goggles on the side of my face and dizzy, then I feel like I had a good swim. So it's going to be like, you know, and it's going to always be within a couple minutes of what I hope for. Usually, if I swim solid, straight, and don't stop, I'm usually within a minute or two. And that's like you're saying. It's just like, you know, the swim is going to be what it is. You know,
yeah, but it's also a tone setter.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of how true that it's, and that's why we always talk about how important the swim is like it's a tone setter. You want to get out feeling confident and feeling fresh, regardless of what the time is.
Yeah.
You know, you want to get out feeling confident and good and be like, I'm so ready to bike, instead of, gosh, I can't believe I made it out of the swim.
Yeah, you can't believe that.
You know, or if you're one of these, you know, if you're wanting the swim to be canceled, yeah, you should probably pick up another sport. You know, you want to get out feeling confident. You want to feel out feeling fresh. You want to feel out, man, you know, check. I got 3 boxes to check, you know, and on to the next one, ready to go, ready to slash through it, and not feeling like you barely were able to get out of it. So, yeah, it's a tone setter, just like it is today and tomorrow. Whatever you do today and tomorrow and Saturday is going to be a tone setter for the race.
Now, I got a question for you based on your Texas. You're obviously you don't get out of the swim most times probably going, man, I'm glad that's over. You know?
No, I don't.
You probably don't. So that's like a real positive thing. That's what I've always wanted to be. And it's happened a couple times. It's sort of like you feel good coming out of the water instead of, you know, defeated a little bit. And then you got to kind of suck it up and regroup and get on the bike and try and make that happen. And everybody talks about how when you're getting done with the bike, you cannot wait to run. Like you want to just get off that bike more than anything. But did you feel that at Texas, or did you feel strong to the point where, you know, you just felt good getting done, but you know that different feeling? You know what I'm talking about?
I felt meh.
Meh?
Yeah. I just felt, you know, I didn't feel, that's what I mean.
It didn't feel like the major accomplishment, like, God, get me out of here.
Well, no. For me, it was, I just didn't feel like I was racing yet. And I think when the gun goes off, you got to flip the switch. And I get like holding back and not wanting to, you know, to burn your biscuits. But for me, I think for where I wanted to be mentally, it was, I get it. It's my first race of the year. You're trying to figure things out. You're not ready to lay it all on the line. I'm not ready to lay it out all on the line either on this one. But I'm going to put more work in on the swim and pick up the pace, you know, just a little bit. The time will be what it'll be, but for me, I need to go ahead and flip that switch. I want to start the bike feeling like I went steady and I'm already racing mentally and engaged, and not. I just don't feel like I was engaged enough, because I knew that I could just go in and take the swim super chill, like a 4 to 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, and still come out in pretty good shape. You know, I don't want to swim at a 10, but I want to feel like I'm in. You know, I want to feel like I'm in the game, my game, not, you know, not racing for this or that or a time, but just like feeling like I'm in my game, and I just want to feel engaged. I guess that's the best word to use. I want to feel engaged.
Mm-hmm. Engaged and not. I guess what I'm getting at is it's kind of, in a way, it's sort of the goal to like get off that bike and feel like you got another 10 in you.
Oh yeah. Oh, you absolutely want to feel that way.
You know, rather than like just like wanting to jump off that thing and letting it go to whoever takes it and steals it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the run, you're going to want to, you know, time that out. So when you get done, that's about as far as you want to run that day. Period.
Yep.
You know, it's not like an exhaust fest in every.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you don't want it to be either.
No. And I just think that's sort of like the, I don't know, the learning curve or whatever for most triathletes. Is it's like sometimes, you know, I've yet to really nail that down. Where,
mm-hmm.
You know, but I've had a couple swims like that, and I've had a couple rides like that, but they haven't lined up. And I just think that's an underestimated part of it is just in general being in good enough shape to get off that bike or out of the water and ready to, you know, tackle the next one at your, you know, just sort of like it's the next thing in the assembly line versus,
mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I got to, you know, take a shower and, you know, take a nap and whatever. Anyway, What else is going on, man? Oh, I got a confession to make about the business. It's about the business.
Okay, man.
I think I may have.
Sure, you weren't going another day.
I think I may have bankrupted us on the shipping decisions that I made. I didn't realize that shipping was like expensive now. I mean, I don't ship gifts enough. So.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, you're obviously not married or have any kids because it's everything's coming in. You don't have anything going out.
I'm just saying. Yeah, a few T-shirts, send them out, $5. Man, did I get a wake-up call yesterday? I started shipping stuff yesterday, by the way. So hopefully I'll get those all out today, and everybody will get their stuff. With early next week, I guess. But
yeah, so if you want to throw us a couple extra bones, you're welcome to do that. And if for some reason we don't go on the air next week, it's because we both had to pick up other part-time jobs.
Because of Mike's shipping air.
You can find me broadcasting from aisle 11 at Home Depot, picking up a part-time shift. But
you might like that.
Yeah, it's all right. Probably save me if I get a discount as much landscaping as we're doing around here. Yeah. But yeah, and then obviously if you see us, Chattanooga, say hi. We'll be around. My beard is awfully trim at the moment, so if you're looking for an ugly guy with a bushy beard, now just look for all the other regular ugly-looking triathlon dudes with hats on. That'll be me with a beard. Just thin trim. And yeah, if you want any other information on camps, obviously we've already had our April camp. June camp is sold out. August camp has one slot left, and then swim camp is next weekend. So those are pretty much done and done. But if you are waiting on the August camp, we have one more slot left. So don't wait because that'll be full. If you want any other additional information about coaching or just training plans, you can always go to crushingiron.com under the coaching tab. We have also swim analysis information on there as well. And you can also go to there and figure out all kinds of fun things with videos and the archives and blog and all the good stuff. So go there, check it out. And I'm also bringing some hats and visors to Chattanooga as well. If you want to pick one of those up, I'll have some there as well.
Oh yeah, and I'll bring extra. We do have some extra gear, so I'll be bringing that as well. So if you want a T-shirt, a long sleeve tee, or a hoodie, we'll have those in the lobby again from 3 till 4:30 on Friday, and from 1 until 2 on Saturday at the Holiday Inn and Suites downtown on Chestnut.
Chestnut?
I believe it's 400 block or something.
I think
Not far
you're
from
right. Yeah.
Transition. Thankfully, a little extra sleep in the morning.
Yeah,
but I am with CC. CC will be up at like 4, going, "Come on, you getting up? Or you gonna do this race? You think you're actually gonna do this today?"
You're like, dude, it's Saturday. Chill out. Nah, see, for all the crap we give him, he's about as nice as the guys you're gonna find. So don't be intimidated to talk to old Corey Coggins. He's got, hey, listen, if you want additional yet to be released stories about both Mike and I, Corey has them. So
yes, he does.
Yeah, he's got plenty of them. Ones we wouldn't mind him sharing, and some ones we probably rather not. But yeah, super nice guy, and everybody else will be as well. So it's we'll be there. We'll be having fun. We look forward to seeing you all, and hope you travel safe and race well. And we'll see you on the race course.
All right. This concludes another Crushing Iron Triathlon podcast. And we will see you, see a lot of you tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. See you.
See you, dude.